I don't know if the girls train at AEW. I know when I was there that first time, I was there for a couple days and they had open training because they had a ring there. And that's when Dustin was training the girls.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh my God, Deuce, I'm so glad you're here. Do you want to come to practice?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah." Like, yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, "Okay." I said, I'll just sit out here. And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you want to help train the girls?" And I said, "I'm honored, but I'm just here. And for me to
Mm-hmm.
come in and start throwing my weight, I don't think it's cool." I said, "You're leading this, so if you want me to talk to the girls and let them know that I'm open, that they want to come over for any suggestions and stuff like that, absolutely." I said, "I think the best thing is that, the kids are here and the ones that aren't in the ring training, that the best way to learn is actually sit outside the ring and watch and listen, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, of course he gets it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so we were getting ready to start, and I'm like, "Well, where's everybody?" And he's like, "Well, it's voluntary." And I'm like, "So it's fucking free. You got Dustin fucking Rhodes training the girls. Where are they? Why aren't they here?" And I was a little baffled. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, Deuce, it's the kid, what am I gonna say? It's the kids, the
Right.
new kids of today, right? And I'm like, "Well, okay, that was respectfully said. I get it, but but I said, isn't it mandatory? I mean, there's more of them are under contracts. They're getting paid. Shouldn't they just be here to show up to?" I'm like, "Because back then the girls' works sucked. It
Mm-hmm.
was a shit show, man." And they were all basically learning, and what no bad things to them. There was no direction. So,
Right.
and I'm like, who wouldn't take advantage of that? So anyway, I went and I was talking, and then the next day I saw some girls and they walked out, and I'm like, "Oh my God, hi, how are you?" And they're like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you, Madusa." And I said, "Well, great." I said, "We had practice yesterday. We have it now." I said, "Are you coming?" And she turned to me and said, "Practice? I don't have to go." And I said, "What do you mean you don't have to go?" She goes, I'm on the injured list." And I looked at her and she had her makeup all done. She's walking just fine. Everything's fine. But sometimes internally, you just don't know. She goes, "Yeah, I have a doctor's. I don't need to go. I don't have to practice." And I said, "Well, you look great to me." I said, "Why can't you sit outside the ring and learn something?" She goes, "It's voluntary and I don't need to show."
Mm.
And I'm not saying this person's name for a reason because I'll mention it
Right.
probably later in another episode, but it it really opened my eyes to what and how I see women. I'm not going to say all of them, how they may look at this business as is a meal ticket, as money only, or do they really respect it? Are they that
Mm-hmm.
much of a cunt? You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my.
Well, I'm
I
just
didn't know we were
saying.
visiting the vagina monologues tonight, and anybody that's seen that play will get that joke.
I know.
Um,
Exactly. It's such a great fucking, oh my God, it was so good. If
Google
you
it.
haven't seen it.
Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, Google it. Okay,
And I'm
last thing.
thinking, you arrogant little bitch. My God. Anyway.
Last